Good to go. Thank you.
All right, we'll call the regular monthly meeting of the Columbia City Plan Commission to order and have roll call, please.
Chip Hill?
Here.
John Kissinger?
Here.
Don Langeloh?
Here.
Jennifer Romano?
Here.
Nicki Venable?
Here.
Dennis Warnick? Here. Dan Weigold?
Here.
Larry Weiss?
He'll be here.
He's not here yet. And Patrick Zickgraf?
Here. We have no minutes from previous meetings, correct?
No, Amanda's still working on those.
Administration of oath to witnesses. So if at this time, if you would like to comment on anything tonight, please stand and raise your right hand and the attorney will swear you in.
You can make any sort of presentation. Do you solemnly swear that any information you give this board this evening will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, say I do.
It is.
Nathan, any old business?
No, sir.
Okay. Under new business 24-C-REZ-2, Whitley County Consolidated Schools request an amendment to the Columbia City zoning map to reclassify a 5.69 acre property from the I-1 Light Industrial District to GB General Business District. The subject property is located on the north side of Radio Road between Line Street and State Road 9, and more commonly known as 71 East Radio Road, Columbia City. Nathan?
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. So going to the slides here. This is 71 East Radio Road, zoned I-1 Light Industrial. Total acreage is a little over 5.5 acres. You may recall this being quite a few different properties. I know it best as fiber form, but I know it's been several things. Most recently, Braden Products before they moved out east. The request tonight is to rezone to GB General Business with the intention of renovating the existing buildings as an educational facility, and the petitioner can give you more details what their plans are on that. Their surrounding land uses are there in the table, mixture of commercial, industrial, and as you get farther away from the site to the east and west, residential. Going on to aerial views. Highlighted there in light blue is the subject property. You'll notice that the map, this is from RGIS, and the right-of-way for Radio Road is actually included in the parcel, although the state acquired some additional right-of-way, so there's a little gap there, which you can see better here. But anyway, the overall property is, the zoning is independent of the right-of-way. So, also of note is the Columbia Township Fire Department to the southwest, and then further to the south is the wastewater treatment plant. Otherwise, you know what's around this site, I assume. Oblique view, note that not only is this the main factory building, which, as mentioned in the staff report before, which dates from the 30s, most of which dates from the 50s, 60s, and there are a couple additions in the 80s and 90s. But you also have a couple of outbuildings located on the north side of the site up here, and two that are pretty close adjacent to the main facility as well. Zoning map, again, this is zoned I-1, flanked by commercial, additional I-1, and then residential as you go farther out. In case we need to reference it, utilities, the contours, floodplains, and rights of way. This property has very good access to sewer, as one would hope, being adjacent to the wastewater treatment plant. And then the blue lines, the thinner blue lines, are water. So all utilities are present, and the floodplains are contained within the Blue River Channel primarily, although there is technically some on the property. Future land use map from the comprehensive plan. This is actually just down the road from the last rezoning we had 2 months ago over on State Road 9. Very similar position in terms of surrounding land uses. Going to the zoning map criteria, I don't have a lot to say, but to summarize what I did say, the comprehensive plan, this is an industrial, commercial, institutional area. Again, you've got quasi-institutional uses with the Humane Society to the west, and then true institutional with the highway garage to the north, and the wastewater treatment plant and fire station to the south. So something like a school use fits in that terms. Big question is, again, with the third criteria as well, is the question of if we rezone this to commercial, or is there an opportunity loss with industrial? Or is this something that could be rezoned back to industrial without too much trouble in the future? So that, I think, is the biggest takeaway for all of this. The specific land use itself is probably not so much in question as potentially what could be that opportunity lost, or if the proposed educational facility moves on and this stays commercial, what could go in there, whether it would be a high traffic generating user, something like that. So that might be another way of looking at it. Another factor under responsible growth and development that a couple people have mentioned to me is the proximity to the city's trail connection, which, Chip, correct me where that will go.
That will be on the east side. They'll come down, but they'll split the county highway department and possibly school, and then run along the east side along the Blue River.
Okay, so that's another consideration. I think that's a favorable piece to encourage students to access this facility. I know that to really capitalize on that, I think there needs to be a community-wide effort to really encourage that, safe routes to school, or a couple different programs to really make that happen. But I think this would be a first step in such a program, and I think that is a benefit to this. If this was commercial, let's say a shopping center of specialty retail, again, that proximity to a river trail would also probably be a bonus for this site too. Industrial, again, don't know, and whether that's an opportunity loss is another question. So it's a real quick summary of all of what I'd said in the written staff report. So any questions for me?
Thank you, Nathan. Presenters, if you come up, present your plan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, Todd Fleetwood here with representing the school. Yeah, we're excited about this opportunity. If you guys allow us to rezone it, basically, we would. Well, actually, we've been looking for a property for a while now for our career and tech program. So, construction trades.
Did you state your name?
Yeah, I did. Oh,
You did?
yeah, Todd Fleetwood.
Paying attention.
Yeah, Todd Fleetwood with the school. Yep. So I'm the director of business and operations with the school.
Todd, could we have your address as well, or the school address?
Yeah, 107 North Walnut Street, Columbus City, Indiana, 46725.
Thank you.
Anything else you need from them?
Social security number, date of birth. Oh, no. So I'm here representing the school tonight. Actually, just came from a school board meeting, so that's why I'm dressed up at 7 o'clock. Usually I'm not this dressed up. So again, we're looking at this as a career and tech facility. We've been looking for several years now to house this program. We just started construction trades this fall, so that's in a classroom right now. As some of you know, that doesn't last very long in a classroom. We want them to start building things. So that would be one of the programs that we would use for this site. Another program would be welding. Right now, at the new high school, the welding bay is full. We actually have a waiting list for students to be in that program, which is great. It's a great opportunity to have, but yet we are turning kids away from that program. So this would allow us to have more space, to have more welders, and to accept more kids in that program. And then the other two programs that we're looking at for this site would be criminal justice and fire and rescue. We currently have all 4 of those programs right now, but we are wanting to grow those programs, and this site again would allow us to do that. I was excited to see that the trail system, hopefully that goes through. I know we've been playing on that for 5 years, but I know how the state goes as far as approving all of the processes as far as crossing over roads and railroads and so forth. But it was, I've talked to Chip about it. We're excited about the trail being basically outlining the property on your way to the high school, so kids would have the opportunity to walk back and forth as well as drive, and we would, if needed, we would probably have activity bus shuttles too for those kids that aren't driving. So this would be an additional program site for the high school for our kids. So. Yeah, I think that's all I have. Any questions for me as far as the school goes? We've been working with Brad Manier. He's our realtor on this, so he's been helping us with this process. So we have ordered a survey. We have ordered a phase 1 as well for the site. So we're waiting on those to go through. We do have an accepted offer pending the rezoning, pending the phase 1 and the survey. So.
Would kids spend most of their day at this facility, or would they be shuttled back?
It would probably be, at this point, I think they call it a double block. Again, I'm not an educator, so I just know just enough to be dangerous. But they call it double block, so it potentially be a double block to a half day they would spend at this site, and then they would go back to get their additional classes. So right now we have, we partnered with City Auto Mall, so we do have a classroom at City Auto for our automotive. So it'd be similar to that, where the kids go there for their automotive classes, and then they go back to the high school for the rest of the programs. So it depends on the year that they're in and what credits they need. Some kids may actually just go to here and then go to work, depending on the program that they're in. But we're kind of seeing this as a addition to the high school. So the kids would be, and we may have we may have a morning, we may have an afternoon. So there may be kids there all day long, but not the same kids. Yeah, good question. Any other questions?
Are there any environmental concerns with it being zoned industrial and now trying to transfer where students are going to be on site?
Yeah, so we ordered phase 1, which addresses that. So they'll do all the history of the site, basically determine, and you probably can speak more educated about this than I can, but so we ordered phase 1. So there's a company that provides this history, provides basically, is there any potential, any alarm there? And then if they think there is, then there's a phase 2, which a lot of you probably know this more than I do too. So there'd be a phase 2 that we would order where they actually test the soil if they think there's any issues on the site. So that has been started. That process is in the works. So there was a phase 1 done back in, was it 2009?
It was 2013, but
okay.
it could be 9.
So there was a phase 1 done in 2013, 2009, some time frame that was done. At that time, they didn't basically deem it to go on to a phase 2. So basically, from 2013 on, I guess I don't know the history of the site, so we did order one for that just to kind of see what the risk is with that. So, but yes, good question. That is something that we definitely wanted to get in to make sure that the site was good for our kids and is safe.
So I know you can't speak for the school board, but long-term plans, is this something you're gonna develop? Or if you ever add on to the high school, will this program shift back?
Right, yeah, so I don't know what they're thinking, but I think what we would advise them, or we feel like this is a long-term site for us. We have looked at building on site at the high school, but if any of you have been there when school starts or school ends, the traffic is not the best. So adding on more programs, more kids, and you know, we're partnered now with Whitco and Busco too. We're kind of having a collaborative as far as career and tech. So that ball is rolling a little bit too. So it might not just be our kids in our district. It might be countywide. Is ultimately what our goal would be with some of these programs. So you know, we have, like I said, we've talked to Whitco and we've talked to Busco. So they have their programs, and which is good, and we may even be using some of their facilities for some of their programs too. But this, I believe, in my opinion, would be long term. Now, not to say that we would have to add on to the high school at some point, because we are growing. But this would allow us to move some of those programs out of the high school to give us some more space there. But the programs we're putting here pretty much needs to be away from the school, just because of what they're doing. Now the welding is operating there now, but again, they're at capacity. But the construction trades piece of it, that takes some space, and so this site, this building actually will work for that real well. And then you have the fire and rescue. We actually have a fire truck that was donated to us, so we're looking for a place to park it indoors. So this would be a place for us to park it indoor. So we worked really closely with the local fire departments as well. So I think we have a donated ambulance coming to a box that our kids will be able to have experience with. So that would be at this site as well. So
I think the bringing the other schools in is a good idea. I don't know if anybody in the room here years ago when they had Potch Wheeler. Remember Potch Wheeler was a senator? I go in the Wabash, he was parked there. And they have a unit, or did have, separate from the high school. And they had 2 other high schools, I think, in Whittle. And that thing just flowed all the time. And that really worked out. Plus the fact that I knew the owner of Bob Brennan owned that fiber farm.
okay.
And we put on 2 additions there. And I don't think we ever buried anything there. It was all taken out.
Okay, so you would know then, right? Okay.
Well, I'm not.
Well, you would have heard about it. Oh, you know, you would have heard about it, I guess.
Yeah, there's a limit to the area.
Yeah.
No, I think that's really a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't remember, maybe 8 or 9 years ago out there at Wilkeswood, we had the school, when they were doing something, you have to come out there and build 4 homes in Wilkeswood. And if you get these kids going, as we develop, we'll probably try and open up a couple for them and just done really finish.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And they had people come in and do a lot of structural work.
Yeah.
But then they could do a lot of other things there.
Yeah.
It worked out great for everybody.
No, that's good. And that's the plan too, especially with our construction trades. We have 12 kids in there right now in that program. And so our goal is for them to be a part of this renovation. So we have a licensed retired, I don't know if you know him, John, but he's retired pipe fitter. And so he's teaching the class. So he has industry experience. So right now he's just in the classroom at the Marshall Building, so he's itching to get out and start building some things. So we would include the kids in this process. We have a budget to renovate this building already, so they'd be part of that, and we try to get them there on site as soon as we can, so they're part of the process of building their facility, so that they have buy-in with it too.
Well,
So
if you look around, I think there's enough people around here that might want to help out.
and we're hopeful for that too. Yeah, we've had some good feedback from our local contractors that would be willing to help with the kids and at least show them what they're doing and kind of take a little more time, because everyone's so fast to get everything done. You're not really taking the time to educate. So we're hoping that with our kids there, that our contractors that are working on the site, that they would take the time to bring along the kids with them and kind of show them what they're doing, why they're doing it, how they're doing it, as part of this process. So our plan is it will look a lot nicer than what it is right now. Trust me. We have, like I said, we have a budget for this. We have some dollars set aside for this, so we will make it look nice, and it will enhance that area of the city too. So
How much additional parking spaces do you think you'll have to put in?
yeah, we looked at that. There's not much parking there, as you can see. So of course, the front of the building, we'll probably have to push that out and kind of maybe rectangle that off. I think I don't know how many counted, Brad. I don't know. It was 20 or so. I think that might be there safely. But we've got kids driving. So we want to give them more room to get in there and get around. So we'll probably have to bring that parking down and kind of square it off. So some of those trees on both sides, the left and the right side of the drive coming in, and would have to expand. Now I know the walkway across radio is in there somewhere, Chip. So we of course have to work with the city on that.
Should be fine.
Just to kind of take out some of that overgrown brush, kind of square that parking lot off in the front there.
So,
Nathan,
Will there be like a site development
Yeah.
plan submitted?
sorry, there's like 3 questions going on here. Larry asked if there'd be a site development plan. A formal development plan is not required because this isn't a construction of a new facility, so you guys won't see a development plan with capital D, capital P. However, there will need to be a site plan submitted as part of their remodel because they are going to be doing site work as well as erosion control and MS4 water quality issues. So we will need to review the parking plan as well. Does need to be paved parking. The parking standard, to answer your question, Dennis, is basically 1 space per adult and then 1 space for kids, each kid over 16 who would be attending. So that'll give you a sense, as well as bus parking, I think, is in there too. So did I answer 2 of the 3 conversations, I think?
A lighting plan,
Um,
probably be off the building in some manner, probably.
a lighting plan, can you make sure we get a photometric plan and
Yeah.
lighting plan? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll make sure that happens too.
So Nathan, a parking spot for every student
Over 16,
over 16.
yes. That's what the standard was for the high school, and that's what we would apply here.
Most of them, I think. Or at least half of them.
That would be a good question.
Are you saying the kids that are actually attending this site? Right.
The ones enrolled, yeah, you don't have to account for the high school
Yeah.
here, but the ones actually attending this facility on average.
Yeah.
So the normal enrollment, and then do it by, I think we did the high school instead of by actual age, by the percentages of each grade level. So 9 and 10 are typically more than 11, 12, and figured out some ratio. And
So in the classes, will they all release at the same time? Do you know?
That I don't know. I would I'd probably leave that to the principal and our CT director, but they could. Ideally, that would be nice because then we'd only have one. If any of them needs a bus transportation, we just have one going back and forth. That would be ideal. But I could see construction trades probably being longer just because of their building things, whereas criminal justice and fire and rescue is more of a class. So those might be not there as long, but they might be more classes of them bundling through. The welding, same thing. Once you get on a project, you don't want to have to stop after 20 minutes and go to your next class. So that could be a class where it could be a double block as well. So
I think in Wabash, they had buses coming from the other schools, and then they had the ones that had class in the morning there and back. They can't drive. They're going to get on that bus because they were finding out when the kids were left there, they never went back to school.
never. No.
Never.
Well, that's what they did.
Any other questions?
All I can say is this is probably a great opportunity. I'm familiar with the trades facility at in Lafayette, Indiana, and the schools there that feed in on the welding and their other trades. I think they might even have an HVAC electrical program or something, but it gives these students another opportunity that want to pursue a career in a more open environment. So
Right. So true. Thank you for that.
We need them too.
John will take all of them, right?
I'll take all of them. I'll even come help train them.
Shane, would you like to say anything?
No, I'm just here as I'm representing from Township Fire to see where our station's at. My concern, I didn't know what I heard about this, so I wanted to get this meeting to see what it entailed, and obviously our concern is with dumping more traffic out on Radio Road. So in fact, with the school campus going in general, has created that a nightmare, then you fill that bridge in and we can't get to our station. So I'm just curious on the traffic on, leading off Pat's question on different time frames they're gonna be leaving, how many times or how many kids are gonna be there, with the buses coming in, how long it's gonna log in that road up. We've already had one incident, first day of school, we had to drive through our yard, we couldn't get cars to move, we had a structure fire. So those are our concerns that's on the fire side of not getting our rigs out to get out. So that's why I'm here, just to see what it's entail, and then you're kind of students flow, traffic, time of day, so we can also prepare on our side and just be prepared on our side. That's we've taken the steps now with the bridge out, to prepare on our side because ever since that went out, it's been a real easy to our station.
Shouldn't
First
that
day,
be,
guys are driving through the yard and everything just to get in, but then we can't get back out.
Yeah.
Shane, shouldn't that be completing in the next 30 days or so?
Yeah, well, middle of November, I think they said for Thanksgiving last year, as we were working with the state to get our techs there to help, but people still want to drive, so. So just a question on our part, what traffic was gonna look like with having that there all through the day. I mean, we've been a big supporter of the fire rescue, we're the ones that donate the fire truck. I've got 4 cadets right now in my department, and I've had 4 others on, and one's already going to be shared.
Nice.
Okay.
So it's definitely a good program. I'm not here by all means that. Our concern is just the extra traffic. That's why I'm here, just want to understand, so I can prepare better on my side.
Right. Yeah, that is something I can't really answer tonight, but Jennifer, I'm sure will probably, I don't know if you're Jennifer Reed, but her and Brady Mullet, high school principal, will work on programming. So this would be, I doubt we'll have a program at this point in for next school year. It's probably going to be the following year before we're ready, because there are some renovations that this building needs. So it's going to take us some work and some time to get it ready for kids. So I doubt it would probably be next school year. I guess if it is, it would probably just be the construction trades class if we can get something ready for them to be there. But full blown ready, probably looking at the 27, 28 school year. But yeah, we would definitely work with you as far as traffic and letting you know as far as when kids are coming and going, and just so that we have an idea of what the traffic looks like there too, for sure.
Yeah, that's all I really just inquiring on how it's gonna look and lay out, just so I can prepare, because obviously that station ain't going anywhere anytime soon. We are looking to redevelop some fire stuff in the county. That's still gonna be a volunteer house, so it's gonna stay there, so we're stuck there.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna be able to expand or get out of there for a while, so that's what our concern is. Then it's already horrible now on a good day when the bridge isn't closed, but then you close the bridge at 205 when we just actually came to our station a couple times, and it's terrifying when you're trying to go to a structure fire, you have people trapped. So that's our concern, getting in and getting out of our station.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all I had, just two questions and just listen, so appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Actually, I have a question for Dennis. Dennis, when they were, when you were still with the highway department, the state, weren't they looking at a 3-way stop at line and radio at one time?
There was rumors of it, but I don't think it ever went very far.
Okay.
Yeah, roundabout.
It should be a roundabout. But now you take up somebody's front yard, so I don't think that would work out very well either.
Chip, the walkway that goes over radio, is that just going to be flashing lights?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And then the bridge then goes, once you get over radio, then it goes over the river?
Yes, there'll be a bridge over the river.
Okay.
Anything else? Nope. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, what's your pleasure?
I make a motion to approve 24-C-REZ-2 with the recommendation by Nicki.
Second.
I second.
Jennifer beat you to
seconded
it. Yeah.
before I did.
So I have a motion by John and a second by Jennifer. Any further discussion? Those in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Thank you, Tom.
Nathan, other business.
Yes, we've got the 2025 meeting schedule to discuss and adopt tonight, hopefully. The proposed 2025 schedule is we don't have any Monday holidays other than Labor Day. So September will fall on the second Monday. Otherwise, all the dates fall on the first Monday of each month. New Year sometimes gets in the way too, but I think it's on a Thursday this year. The proposed training dates for 2025 are in March, June, September. December of 2025 has a fifth Monday, but nobody will attend that one. So that one's, we're just striking. For those training dates, locations are to be determined. I think we may do a round robin like what we did this year again. We may have them all here. I don't know. We'll make that. We've got a couple months before the first one to determine that. Potential topics, Ask Me Anything, which we did in January of this year. Only got through maybe quarter or a third of the overall questions that we had stockpiled. We've got more to add to the list, so I think that might be a topic we'll hit. Ethics is always one that we could talk about as well. And then based upon the discussion afterwards from the meeting last week, I think it may be wise to just dedicate one of these training sessions each year to effectively a community roundtable where we bring people together just to talk about topics. I think that was the big takeaway, was the ability to say, hey, we've got this going on, and to have others say, hey, yeah, we hear you, and we're doing it this way, or we didn't know you had that. That's a great idea. Let's work together. There were so many different things that had been talked about planning related, zoning related, building related, and all sorts of other ways. So I think that was probably the big win from Monday night, was to get that voice among the communities that apparently we haven't really had in quite a long time. So I kind of want to foster that if we can, and maybe, like I said, dedicate one of these training sessions each year just to a not completely open format, but kind of a hot topic sort of what you got going on, and talk amongst each other. So that's the calendar. Kind of related to it, kind of not, is you've noticed that we've been sending out links to the Google Share Drive. At the beginning of the year, we're going to, as much as possible, go 100% electronic. There are certain things that will need to be hard copy, and I think, Don, you have trouble with some of the electronic stuff, printing it, for example, or reading it. So if anybody has need for hard copy, we'll honor that. But for the most part, we want to reduce the amount of paper that goes out, reduces the amount of postage we send to. So just anticipate that, and we'll continue to send out that Google Drive link for each one of the meetings. I think the city, for city council, uses Dropbox. So yeah, we're not piggybacking on your guys' account. We're just using our free Google account, which should be big enough for the stuff we deal with. And if there's big format or other things, we'll handle that kind of one-off. So let me know if you need hard copy, and we'll work with you. Otherwise, beginning of the year, expect electronic. So questions about the calendar? Thoughts? Okay.
I'll make a motion, we accept the calendar.
Second.
Motion by Dennis, second by Nicki. Any discussion? Those in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Anything else?
Probably, but I don't know what to talk about, so no.
Yeah.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Motion second. Let's go home.